The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
And belly on up to the 9-foot homemade oak bar. Pour yourself a cold one. The EP Podcast, 30 minutes of good, right here in Evergreen Park. My name is Chris. That's Hannah.
Hello.
And Hannah, I have so much to talk about on this episode.
Yeah,
there's so much
lot
going on. You know, first off, we'll kick it off with letting everybody know that the subject matter at the beginning of the last show about Father Paul Guzman and the allegations that were levied against him, within 24 hours after that show dropped, the allegations were over.
Hallelujah.
He was cleared. Mm-hmm. And when you read the amount of people that had their hands on the investigation, it was like 3 different entities and individual private investigators all looked at the case from different angles and all cleared him. And it wasn't just the Catholic Church, it was the state of Illinois investigators.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like that's the thing about it, because he wasn't a priest when it happened, and they found it not to be credible. They couldn't find any evidence on it. It was basically like, this is just somebody said something, and is there any truth behind it? And like I said, I didn't believe it when I heard it. I'm happy for him. I've exchanged text messages with him.
I was just so relieved when I heard that today. So relieved.
Look, he's a good guy.
He's an amazing guy.
And he's a friend, and it wasn't true. And the person that levied these things had said stuff before like this, and it had been disproven. Mm-hmm. We were talking about what he was doing. He's working as a nurse inside of places that deal with people who are mentally ill. And I said, I don't know, but it's a good possibility based upon his work history. That's what was going on here. And I think the only thing that bothered me about it is you get this letter, everybody finds out about this horrible allegation. It's cleared up a little over a week later. But the problem is the stink is always there, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Once suspected, always accused. Is that how it goes? Yeah.
And I really hope that isn't the case with this.
Yeah. I hope people can look past that.
I really hope that isn't the case with this. And I went through it on the last show, my personal experiences in the parish that I came from, where there really was something that had happened there. And how distrusting I was. And I trust this guy. And I didn't believe this for a second. And I think it's become very obvious that it never happened. And you know what? The other thing that's interesting about it is the archdiocese, even in their letter, it felt like they had to put it out.
Yeah.
Because they had to be at the end of the investigation when that letter comes out. They didn't start the investigation and end it in 12 days. Like they were like, well, he was deployed, but now he can't come back. Anybody that's been around the parish knows that he came and picked up his car like 6 months ago or something like that. Like this has been going on for a while. It was almost as if they didn't believe it.
Right, but they had to do their due diligence.
But at the end, they had to put out that letter, and that's the thing that stinks about the entire thing.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Look, when he's able to come on, when he wants to come on, we're going to have him on.
Good. And
he's a good friend. He's been on the show a bunch of times, and I told him, you're back whenever you want to come on. I want to hear about what happened when you were in Djibouti and you were deployed. I'm not just going to focus on, this one thing that really I'm sure he just wants to have go away. But I mean, to give him an opportunity to talk and to catch back up with Father Paul, a good friend of the EP Podcast, is going to be an exciting thing. This episode and every episode of the EP Podcast brought to you proudly by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. Your child's bright financial future starts with learning good money habits early on in life. Help them get ahead with a junior savers account from the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. With a junior savers account, kids can earn interest on every dollar they deposit, so they watch their money grow. I have all my kids' accounts over there, and I'm able to go in and see everything they're doing.
That's good.
Oh, it's great. After school, did you go to Starbucks? No? Yes, you did.
All right, big brother.
Yeah, I mean, I know, I'm the worst. Look, I don't really care. It's their money, right?
Yeah.
But it gives me an opportunity to sit there and say, look at the money you're wasting on this stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'd like them to figure that out now, rather than figure it out like I figured it out when I got to college. Like when I got to the University of Illinois in 96, and I'm walking around the campus, it was like, hey, you get a coupon for a free pizza, you get this water bottle, you get this Illini t-shirt, you get this Illini hat, and, here's 4 other things, and all you got to do is sign up for this credit card. And the credit card's got a huge interest rate.
Right.
And by the time you get through your freshman year, you owe more for pizza and late night burritos than you do in tuition. And then the interest just keeps compiling. So I want them to understand how they're spending. And that's one of the reasons why I like the system they have over there at the First National Bank of Evergreen Park.
Nice.
And I can put money in their account.
Yeah. Make it easy.
So when they move on and they go on to college, I mean, my daughter just got a 29 on her ACT first try.
That's amazing.
I'm bragging, baby. That was
You should
awesome.
be.
She didn't even take a class. She went in cold. That's better than what I got.
That's amazing.
You know, and she was mad she didn't get a 30 or higher. And I was like, go take it again then, overachiever. Like, I thought that was awesome. But when she goes off to college, I can throw stuff in there for her real quick, touch of a button. So I absolutely love their system over there. Learn more at bankevergreenpark.com or visit them at 95th and Pulaski in that iconic building. Sitting down here at the 9-foot homemade oak bar, we have a guest that is new to the EP podcast. Always fun when we get somebody new. Not new to Evergreen Park, but going to be new to your Evergreen Park High School football program. A new head coach coming in, Jim Ramazinski. How are you?
Good. Excellent. You got a good setup down here. This is great.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. I mean, like, this bar, I've said it before, is basically me saying I'm going to build a bar in this basement and my wife laughing at me and saying, you're not. And then her coming home one day and there's a bunch of lumber in the driveway. And she's like, what are you doing? You've never built anything in your life. But I got it up. I got it stained. I use the internet to figure out a lot of stuff, but this is it. If you look closely, there's lots of flaws, so don't do that.
Well, it looks like it's standing the test of time, so that's good.
Well, and it houses a podcast studio, so that works out really well too. So you live in Evergreen. You've been coaching at Andrew, and now you're the new head football coach right up the block from where you live. That's got to be exciting.
It's very exciting. Honestly, it's a dream come true. It's an opportunity to be close to home, but be close to home in a community that you really care about, that you love, that you have a lot invested in. And I'm just excited to be there to help the students reach their goals.
You were telling me beforehand, you have little kids. You don't have anybody at high school level yet. You got one that's getting close. Mm-hmm. So is that also exciting? Like the idea of now that we're getting to the point where one of them is going to be getting the high school age, I would imagine likely going to EPCHS. And, you know, that's the time where you kind of want to be in the same school as the kids. Because I've seen other teachers do that. I mean, my sister works at a high school and her daughter is about to get there. And I know that's probably an exciting thing for her. She got there right before my daughter got to that school. So, I mean, it kind of like, I almost feel like that's kind of a thing. Like it's fun when they get to that age. Like I like to be coaching or teaching in the same place as the kids.
Yeah, I mean, she's excited about it right now. She's in 6th grade.
Well, she's in 6th grade.
Yeah,
when she's in high school and she's 15. She's like putting her hand over her face when she walks by your office.
I told her I'm going to be making a lot of jokes in the hallway when she gets there, and she's kind of rolling her eyes. You know, I was able to see a lot of teachers at Andrew have their kids come through there, though, and see how, you know, it seems like it was a special thing. So that's another bonus to this whole process, becoming the football coach and teacher there. So it's all very exciting.
Jerry Verde is sticking around over there too. I find this to be fascinating because when I first saw the press release, I thought, did he retire? Is he out? I thought he had a really good last couple of years and he was, you know, he felt he was on a positive track and it sounds like instead he's going to be part of your staff. You guys get along. You've worked with each other before in the past. Everything is amicable and good times over there.
Absolutely. Jerry's a phenomenal coach. I mean, he's won a state championship in the past. He's been successful everywhere he went, and he's been a big help with the transition for me over these past couple weeks. And we're very happy that he's staying around and he's going to help out because he's a great football mind. He's a great man, and honestly, he's what's best for some of the athletes at our school. So it'll work out really good. And I'm really excited that he's with us still.
That's awesome. And I'll get to ask him more about that. He's already scheduled to be on next week. So you're first. He's showing up next week on the EP podcast.
Awesome.
Because I just want to kind of go over what he did in his career over at Evergreen Park. You, on the other hand, interesting career. You were a head coach at one point, lacrosse.
Correct.
Before you get into football, you were a defensive coordinator. And now coming over from Andrew, you're going to be the head coach at Evergreen Park. First football head coaching job. How long does it take to get to this point?
Well, let's see. This will be my next year will be my 12th year coaching football. Yeah, it's been gradual, but it's been worth the journey for sure. Because starting off as a freshman assistant coach, then head freshman coach, and then switching over to Andrew. That those first few years were at Crete-Monee High School. Switching over to Andrew, running the special teams, learning from the people around me as I'm going, and then stepping into the defensive coordinator role was awesome. It was excellent. We had great kids, great coaches. And yeah, it's been a really nice 4 years doing that, but I'm excited to be here to continue the success from what's been happening and also just build on it and, continue to grow as a program and really just promote our program, promote the school, promote our student athletes to everyone in Evergreen Park.
Well, EP's got great facilities, and they're constantly improving on them, so that must have been exciting. The one thing I'm curious about is, we've talked a lot of football with Coach Verde over the last couple of years on the EP podcast, and I get the picture of a program that's got kids that come in, and some of them have to play on both sides of the ball. It's not like a super deep bench like some of these Catholic League schools where you see the same number on multiple backs because they have so many kids in the football program. It's not the same thing at Evergreen Park. What was it like at Andrew, and are you prepared to set up a program and move forward where you might not have the deepest of benches?
Yeah, no, just from watching the film from last season, you could see that, and I knew that going into this, that there's guys who play both ways, but I think it's a testament to some of those players, how dedicated they are, how focused they are. Football's a lot about numbers, and Evergreen Park's one of the smaller schools around, smallest school in its conference. There's going to be guys who have to play both ways, but I can see from the past and from talking to coaches around, our players are willing to shoulder that burden. They don't look at it as a burden. They look at it as an opportunity. And it's about us finding our best fit for them on offense, defense, special teams, and allowing them to shine. And, there's guys who've been doing it a couple years there who are coming back. And, I'm excited to work with them. Obviously, we're hoping to get to a point where we have more and more kids playing football at Evergreen where, maybe not a ton of guys going both ways as much, but right now, the guys that we have are fantastic, and I'm looking forward to getting in the weight room with them more and getting to summer camp and working with them.
Our introduction to Coach Ram is brought to you by the law offices of Parente and Norham. If you've been injured at work, you need a team that will do what it takes to fight for your rights. The insurance companies only care about one thing, the bottom line, but the law offices of Parente and Norham has the experience, dedication, proven results it takes to get you the care and compensation you deserve. They have recovered nearly $500 million for their injured clients and loved ones. For a free case evaluation, EP podcast listeners, call or text them today at 312-641-5926 or visit pninjurylaw.com. Is the selling point for you telling kids that maybe choosing between Evergreen Park and some of the private schools that are around here, because I know that that's competition, is a selling point you're definitely playing because we need guys? Do you sell playing time when you're recruiting from a school like Evergreen?
You can never sell playing time because playing time has to be earned.
Opportunity then? Is that something?
Well, Evergreen's full of opportunity. If you look at the school as a whole, it is jam-packed with opportunity. Science labs are the best in the state. The staff there is unbelievable. The student body is awesome. And you have some serious athletic facilities that, are arguably, in my opinion, they're the best in the state.
Oh, you can see an arms race going on. I've got a kid down the street at Rice, and I just got a letter about some of the improvements they were going to do, and I think they saw your baseball fields and are like, "Ooh, we got to keep up." There's an arms race here on the south side that you're kind of plopping yourself into in this little area, but you know that because you live here. You've got that picture already, right?
Yeah, no, I know that. It's something that I'm excited to take head on, and just I'm ready to just showcase our school, our program, and all the positives that it has. And just even me walking through the building a little bit so far, I could see it. Just seeing the kids in the cafeteria, meeting the players for the first time. This place is full of awesome kids, awesome staff, and awesome opportunities throughout the entire school. And we're gonna do our best to spread the word about that.
I found it interesting looking at the press release when it got sent out to me of you being hired, what you're going to be doing in terms of your teaching role inside of the school. I know teachers, and teachers that are teaching, your reading, your writing, your arithmetic are impressed by the teachers that are able to do special education. And you're doing special education. It's almost like a lot of teachers will look at what you do and go, that's a challenging job. And that takes an awful lot of skills. I would imagine it takes a lot of patience as well for you that maybe carries over when you're coaching.
Yeah, well, teaching students with special needs is all about finding a way to gauge their interests and reach them. And, then build on the skills. It's a lot like coaching. You need to get players, students to want to work for you. And I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded by excellent coaches and excellent colleagues, teachers, as well as, of course, most importantly, excellent students and athletes who are willing to embrace their role of trying to get better each day. One thing we say at football is we want to win at everything. And winning at everything really talks about, it's not necessarily about wins and losses every single Friday night. It's about building those skills that are going to translate over to, not just football, but your school, the hallways in the school, your community in general, and then carry on to your adult life. And that's really, I've been able to see it over the years. Players come back, students come back. It's great. If you played even the smallest role in that, it's rewarding. And you see it a lot in special education. Is it a hard job? Yeah, but if you like doing it, it's not that hard. It's a great, I like going to work every day, and I'm looking forward to starting at Evergreen in the teaching side as well.
Really nice to meet you. Hopefully we'll talk to you
a
lot more here in the future. I mean, good luck with the team and preparations. And are you hitting the ground running already? I mean, you got your EP hoodie on. Are you already over there, or do you really not get going until the end of the school year?
No, I'll be there next week pretty regularly with weightlifting. I was fortunate to meet with the coaches, meet with players, kind of get some groundwork going these first couple of weeks, and then next week we're kind of hitting it running a little bit more with some specific times that we're all kind of going to be able to work together, the players and I. I just want to give a shout out to some guys who have reached out to me and who I've talked to specifically. Our QB was starting QB last year, Dejan Feliciano. What a kid. Was able to meet with him, and that was fantastic. And we got a couple guys coming back that I'm really excited about. Running back Jed looks like he is a player, and I'm telling you, meeting them face to face, great kids, really excited to work with them. You got another kid, Antonio Clay Jones, who looks like he's got a lot of talent, and he was great to meet with as well. Gerald O'Hare, returning lineman, and also Eduardo Antunes. These guys, it's not just these five, it's all of them.
Yeah.
But these five have kind of reached out and was able to, I know them now a little bit, and I'm excited to get to know them more. And we got a ton of guys, who are just ready to work. Even on the lower levels, you got a kid like Caleb Kaiser, Armani Hassan, a kid, they're ready to work. And I'm watching these guys on film and seeing what their capabilities are. And I'm hoping once we get all together more often that they're just ready to work the way I am. I think it's going to be awesome.
You sound excited and ready to go. That's what I'm listening to a guy that's got like his brand new car, and he can't wait to take it out for a test drive.
I haven't had a brand new car in a long time.
Well, you got one now.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Jim Ramazinski is the head coach. You can call him Coach Ram, and we're going to be hearing from him, I would imagine, an awful lot over the next few years, coaching the Mustangs over at Evergreen Park High School. Coach, thanks so much for jumping on the EP podcast.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You got a great setup here. I appreciate it.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-5555. 1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. Let's talk revival.
Let's do it.
End of the show, I brought this up, so I want to make sure for those that don't make it to the very end of the show that you know about the EP podcast Revival. And the idea behind this is simply after 5 years, you look back at everything that, happened, not only with the show, but with the network that was started. The fact that, I remember still getting in the car the first time to go to the first event where I was showing up and handing out stuff that told people, this is how you listen to a podcast. And
right, I remember those days.
I'm doing one in Evergreen Park, and the weird looks and the shame my children felt. And like my son was like, I think half the neighborhood thinks that you lost your mind and the Lanudis are going to be thrown out of their house in a year because how are you going to do this? And trust me, I understood that. I mean, who's ever done this before? And now 5 years later, network's big. It continues to grow. But this was one of the originals. It was this show and Socks in the Basement, which were the two that were launched 5 years ago that still exist. And the rest of the network came along later.
Yeah.
There were other things that we tried that didn't work out, but it really kind of started with these two shows. And it would have never have worked if the concept of a local on-demand radio show for an area like Evergreen Park, that people from the area would like it, that it would serve the area, that there'd be things that would be of interest, that people could participate in it, that we could be a part of things that are going on. If that didn't work, the network would have never worked. This is the cornerstone to the whole idea of, instead of doing these big national podcasts, you can be local and you can serve the area that you're in, and that it'll work. And so 5 years later, I'm happy to report it worked, and every morning I wake up and say thank you. And every day I'm appreciative of it. I want to kind of refresh it and bring back big things that we used to do. And when I told you about the live shows, your face lit up.
Yes, I missed that.
You like that idea.
I loved it. During the pandemic, we were doing the live shows.
Yeah.
That was fun. People could just call in.
I have an idea to do it on video, too.
Okay.
Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
I mean, I know
Jazz
how...
it up.
You're like my wife, where, when you know that people are going to be watching, there's a lot more print time.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to print before I come over, yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'll put on pants. But, I mean... maybe I'll put a hat on my head so you can't see the way my hair looks that day. But I don't think I'm going to do that. So what I think we're going to do is, and I don't know if we're going to run it through that Podbean app anymore, because it did have its problems.
It did,
But there's a few of them I'm experimenting with right now. The plan at this point is to relaunch the live broadcast on 4/20.
Ooh.
And I thought it was funny. When I looked at it, I was like, I want to do it on Thursdays. And I'm going on a trip. And I want to have lead time when I get back from the trip to make sure that we're ready to go. And that was just the most logical day. So that's the target date.
Okay.
4/20, April 20th, 8 p.m. Does that sound like a good start time for a live show?
Sounds good to me.
I think that people at that point at 8 p.m. are ready to sit down and enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And they might
Dinner's
flip it on
done.
like a TV show. And that's the other thing I want to do. I'm really considering running it simultaneously on YouTube.
Ooh, there you go.
On the YouTube channel or on an app which allows for live comments and allows for people to call in. And I've researched a few of them. So this time around, the idea would be it could be visual or audio, whatever you prefer, more interactive, and it will be basically what you and I do for the show, except there's so much stuff that never makes it into the 30-minute show.
Yeah.
Right?
You can only do so much.
And we could bring in guests live, and we could try out some fun stuff. We could get away with some stuff that maybe we wouldn't put in the podcast. And who knows, maybe for the live show, we get a little nuts, right?
Get a little nuts. A little fun.
Maybe I act like I'm 45 and not trying to be the cleanest on the microphone. Maybe we get into some conversations that are a little bit, because it's 8 o'clock at night at this point, right? I don't expect kids to be watching this. So maybe we have a little bit of fun when we're doing it. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing. I think you're excited about the live show too.
I'm excited. I am.
One of many things that are coming back for the revival, and I've got big plans for the entire summer for the EP podcast. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Couldn't do it without Hannah here at the bar helping me.
Thank you.
Honest to goodness, really, because otherwise I'd just be talking to myself, and that'd be a terrible live show. It is now time for your EP podcast Word on the Street, brought to you by Cool Clouds Vapor Shop. Quitting smoking is hard, and Cool Clouds wants to give you an alternative. Full taster bar, great CBD products, new location, northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie, right next to where the very soon to open Spoken Vine is located. See all they have to offer at coolcloudsvapor.com or stop in and see them in person at 3148 West 95th Street in Evergreen Park. The Village of Evergreen Park Police Department is going to be holding 2 T-level clinics with the Kids Golf Foundation this summer. Each clinic, 20 kids, 10 boys, 10 girls. These clinics are being offered free of charge, ages 8 to 13, and it is only available to Evergreen Park residents. Children can also only attend one clinic. Get more information at evergreenpark-ill.com. The youth department is busy as the Easter holiday approaches. Kids in grades 5 through 12 can go to the youth center and dye an Easter egg April 4th, 5th, and 6th from 3:30 until 5 in the afternoon. The youth department is also hosting an Easter egg hunt on Thursday, April 6th from 4 to 4:30 in the afternoon, open to grades 5 through 12. And the center will be open Monday through Friday, April 10th to 14th from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for grades 5 to 12. Those are the hours for spring break. But grandparents are welcome to bring their grandchildren for fun, games, and refreshments during spring break before those times, 11 a.m. until noon, that Monday through Friday. That is for kids ages 3 and up. And you can register right now for the upcoming American Academy of Pediatrics babysitter class. That is going to be happening again April 29th, 9 a.m. until 3:30 at the Community Center for a $60 cost. Registration is open for ages 12 and older. Registration form and payment are due at the youth department by April 21st. Get more information, call Paisha over there, 708-229-3377. Golfers are reminded that the driving range is open at Sexton Park from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. But if you're heading over to 91st and Rockwell to do it, it is credit card vending only until summer. Now on April 1st, that's Saturday, it's coming up, 10 a.m. until 11:30 in the morning, the annual Easter Festival is being put on at the Community Center, 3450 West 97th Street. There's going to be some family craft projects and the Easter Bunny. It is open to only Evergreen Park residents. On the other hand, there is an event open to everyone at the Evergreen Park American Legion over at 97th and Kedzie on Sunday, April 2nd. Kicking off at 9 a.m. and going until noon, a pancake breakfast with the Easter Bunny. Come get some food, take a picture with the big bunny. Tickets are $12 for adults, $8 for children 5 to 12, and kids under 5 are free. Purchase those tickets in advance over at the Legion, or you can purchase them day of at the door. You're going to get pancakes, sausage, fruit, coffee, tea, juice, all the fixins for a nice little breakfast. And your proceeds help support various veterans organizations through the American Legion. Me, I'm going to be bringing some hot sauce over because I love that with all of my food, and I get it at Sid Sauce. Local Evergreen Park company grows the peppers in Evergreen Park, bottles the sauces here, craft batches, delivers to your door for free. Check out every option they have. They always have something new that comes out at sidsauce.net. At what point do you think in your life did you look at the Easter Bunny and go, that's scary?
I was never scared of the Easter Bunny.
Oh, the Easter Bunny's always freaked me out.
I was never scared of it.
The mall Easter Bunny.
Never.
The mall Easter Bunny used to scare the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, never did anything to me.
You know, I mean, like, Santa's a cool dude, right? You sit on Santa's lap, you tell him what you want, he talks back to you, right? You're going to get presents from him. Everything that's going on there is extremely logical, especially to a child, right?
Yeah.
The bunny doesn't talk when you sit on the bunny's lap.
His mouth stays open.
It's got this weird, twisted plastic look to it. It's breathing heavily, right? It's like you can almost hear it, like when you're sitting on the bunny's lap.
And the white fur is always like dirty around the edge.
Well, look, I mean, okay, think about this. You're a kid, right? And somebody tells you the Easter Bunny's coming, right? Okay, Easter Bunny's on his way. Hippity hoppity, down the lane he goes, bringing all kinds of candy. It's gonna be amazing. Then you go to the mall and you see the monstrosity that's sitting in the mall. That thing.
Yeah.
And now it's not a cute little bunny that's showing up.
6 foot tall.
No, it's that thing. And now I'm locking the door and I'm putting string across it with like some tin cans as an alarm system in case it comes into my room. Like, that's freaky to me,
Yeah.
right?
But you accepted his gifts, didn't you?
I did, but I mean, yeah. It was chocolate for crying out loud, but still, it's freaky to me.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.